Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Sablon, or Lucental. I'm going to give you the story so far for Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, because if you were following us a few weeks ago, Jonas Falcon and several of our friends are running through that adventure. We ran through the first 20 hours during Extra Life, and we're going to be doing our next session this Sunday at noon. So I want to give you the story so far so that you're caught up, because that was 20 some hours of D&D, and I will perfectly understand if you didn't pay attention through all of it. So, we start in the city of El Terrell, where the party is basically given a job. Hey, the Grand Duke from Baldur's Gate came over here, the High Observer, Thavius Krieg says, so escort my surrogate daughter here, Rhea Mantlemorn, to be my goodwill delegation back to Baldur's Gate. Simple, easy job. Right, great. In the city of El Terrell, they explore around, smash up some skeletons, learn about the companion. That's important. It's the big second sun that illuminates Elturel and Elturgard, drives away the undead. It's been there for about 50 years. Super important. Everyone loves it. Great. Rhea decides to be a, spirited teenager that she is, takes the Creed Resolute to become an official Hell Rider against the High Observer's wishes, and then everyone's like, be careful if you go to Baldur's Gate, it's a bad place. And the party's like, hey, bad places, we go there, and head out to Baldur's Gate. On the road, they meet Lydia Kindlehall, who's pretending to be someone from Elturel, but they see through her ruse. Before they fight, the companion goes black, sucks up Elturel. Everyone's confused, no one knows what's going on. Then they fight, defeat Kindlehall, and turn around because they want to go help everyone back at Elturel. There, they do manage to save pretty much everyone at Elturel, fight off some cultists, fight off some undead, make new friends with a dragonborn Hellrider Mortmar and a gnomish flaming fist wizard Edric. All of their friends gathered up together. They're like, hey, you know what? Baldur's Gate's still the place to go because we like going to bad places. Anyway, the first bad place they find is Fort Morninglord, where the Order of the Companion have set up a perimeter around this creepy fortress that in no way that plays no more role in our narrative than that. They explore the High Observer's personal barge. Why it's here instead of in Elturel, they never quite figured out, but it's here, it's weird. Anyway, they decide they're not going to kill people to steal that boat, continue walking down to Baldur's Gate. There, run into some flaming fist. They're like 5 days away from Baldur's Gate. Very suspicious, bribe some of them to leave, get into a fight with two flaming fist and a devil chain, which was literally a chain and a figure eight that moved around and attacked them and almost killed them all. Anyway, they succeed, learn that some of the flaming fist have started to venerate some being called Princeps Kovic, leader of the Eighth Remnant. And that's bad. Anyway, they decide, who cares, still going to Baldur's Gate. They arrive at the Basilisk Gate in a few days, where they, ask around, set up their horses and their wonderful refugees with, place out of sight, out of mind. Anyway, members of the Flaming Fist come out when they see a bunch of heavily armed adventurers and like, hey, we want you to work for us. Come talk to our boss, Flame Zodge. P.S. Edric's a deserter. Will you hand him over to us? Party says, nah, we're keeping him. Anyway, Flame Zodge is like, don't care, keep him, I don't want him. Anyway, Cult of the Dead 3, causing trouble here in Baldur's Gate. Also, we're down to 2 out of 4 dukes. Kinda want to keep that ratio. Could you watch out for them today? Also, this Holophant, Candlekeep sent here. Don't want her. She's yours now. So, the party's like, cool, all of that's great. We're gonna go explore a little bit around Baldur's Gate. They learn a bit about the Cult of the Dead 3, head to the High Hall where the 2 remaining dukes are having a nice old-fashioned yelling argument. Duke Vanthamper, stern old lady, pulled herself up by her bootstraps, used to work in the sewers, now runs the place and is a duke, says, I should be in charge because we're out of dukes and someone's got to be in charge of things. Duke Portier's like, no, slow down, everything's going to be fine. P.S. My niece is coming and she's totally going to take control of everything. Anyway, no more arguments because cultists attack. Tiamat cultists are trying to kill Duke Vanthamper. Cult of the Dead 3 cultists are trying to kill Duke Portier. Party saves everybody. No one dies. It's great. Well, except for cultists, which is great. So, the party decides, okay, we're done with this. We were supposed to find someone who was going to tell us about the Cult of the Dead 3, so let's go talk to Tarina, who Zaj sent us to talk to in the first place. They teach Lulu how to gamble, and they meet a Sahagin priestess, Oshala, who had a religious experience to convert away from the Sahagin evil shark god to Saloon, a nicer ocean god. She asks the party, hey, I sunk a ship, feel bad about it, realize sinking ships is bad. Could you go put their souls to rest, and then I'll be out of Baldur's Gate. Party's like, sure, we like going to bad places. So in the morning, they go to the cave where a bunch of Sahagin and hobgoblins are doing something terrible to the souls of the people who worked and died aboard the Gallant Light. The party goes in, beats up bad guys, and they find out that all these hobgoblins and Sahagin had been put up to this by a warlord of Avernus named Lizeth. Anyway, they're like, great, good, put all of the souls to rest, bury them all, go back, tell Oshala all's cool. She's like, great, have my room. Anyway, while they're there, they have their fortunes told. Everything's fun, everyone's kind of having like nervous laughs because the fortunes are kind of on point. Anyway, then they're like, hey, tell Rhea's fortune because that'll be funny because, they like picking on her. Anyway, crystal ball explodes, and then the fortune teller leaves. They finally meet up with Tarina, who says, got a deal for you. I'll tell you about the Cult of the Dead 3. You kill my old shipmate Deadeye, who's here to kill me because, he doesn't like the fact I stole all his stuff. Anyway, Deadeye turns out to be a Minotaur devotee of Baphomet, evil Minotaur god of savagery and murder. Demon, actually. I guess kind of a god. Anyway, demons make Lulu angry. She enters a rage. There's a huge, brutal fight as the party tries to keep her from trying to go toe-to-toe with this raging Minotaur. Victory. During the fight, it turns out that the elf does know, the elf song elf that sings, the ghost elf, does know a second song about Elturel. Look it up on Google, Song of Elturel. Anyway, with Deadeye defeated, Tarina's like, okay, gonna keep my promise. Here's where you can go to find out about the Cult of the Dead 3. It's a bathhouse called the Three Nymphs, because the Cult of the Dead 3 ain't subtle. Anyway, P.S. Now that the captain's dead, help me steal the uncivil servant from his sister, Bright Eye. Party's like, 1 Minotaur's enough for a night. We're going to go to a different bad place that isn't the boat. We're going to... Well, first we're going to rest and find out some rumors. Here's the rumors they find out. Cult of the Dead 3, guess what? 3 leaders. The Banite Kazira, the Necromancer Flennis, and the Man with No Face Vaz. Anyway, they also learned that someone else has been asking about the Cult of the Dead 3, a kind of dandyish man that they recognize to be Amric Vanthampur. They met him at the High Hall. Finally, someone stole something valuable from the Hewn House, a patriarch family. Those unfamiliar with Baldur's Gate, they're snooty nobles. All patriarchs are snooty nobles. That's just how it is. Party rests, wakes up, decides, okay, time to go. At the Three Nymphs, they find people really not doing a good job of being a front company. So, seeing through the obvious ruse, big fight. They win, kill some cultists, and then they're like, okay, Mortimer, Rhea, and Lulu are going to watch the front, make sure there are no shenanigans. The rest of us are going into the depths of the Dungeon of the Dead 3 to find out what's going on. They go down there, they find Kazira of Bane, beat her right hand, beat the right and left hand floating gauntlets that got summoned on them. Anyway, bunch of dead cultists and dead animated gauntlets. So then they free one of the prisoners there, Klim Jasso, some 4th or 5th son of the patriarch family Jasso, and he's like, hey guys, I got a job for you. Talk to me when we're not in this sewer anymore. He skedaddles. So that's where we are. Story so far. Party has struck a decisive blow against the Cult of the Dead 3, and they're ready to move on. Who are our players? No, you'll meet them later. The characters are what's important. Ronald McNee Smasher is a halfling barbarian who has been asked by Martha Mordween and Averine, dwarven and halfling god, hey, you want to go to the dwarven afterlife? Fine. Find us the giant forged hammer Matalock, break it, go home, and build a shrine to the dwarf god. Then you're in. Lyra Stormbrew is a human rogue, raised by halflings, and her adventurer parents have disappeared, so she's trying to find them. She's impulsive, so she took the Creed Resolute, and she's kind of befriended Edric, and they've kind of, they're friends now. Ariel Everstone is a Grey Dwarf cleric of Ilmater. She's searching for the guy who stole her only keepsake of home and exploring the surface world. Mephistopheles found her while she was almost dead, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to ask you to do something that's not evil. Totally not evil. In fact, it is going to show Ilmater how important you think compassion is, because I want you to have compassion on us, the devils of my realm. Please redirect the river Styx into my frozen realm to bring us some brief comfort, and I'll return to you what was stolen from you, and I'll give you the wizard who stole it to do whatever you want with. And P.S. Not evil." Zemar Shear is a halfling bard. He's a native of Velterel, so he's having a pretty bad couple of days. In fact, one day he was almost killed, so he woke up to find himself at the infernal rapture ran by a guy named Mahadi, who has also captured his teacher and friend Kazab. Mahadi was like, "Oh, Kazab sold you all his debts. Well, I'm not taking your soul because I'm an honest guy and I'm only going to take souls I earned. So, you're free to go, but I'm keeping your friend. Unless you do me a favor. Favor's this. Mahadi's a little sweet on Fëanor, a warlord of Avernus, and he wants Zemar to bring her heart. Literally or figuratively, he's a devil, doesn't care, whichever." Anyway, Atros Kersis is a tiefling warlock who, made a deal with a fiend known as the Vice Lord. It happens. Anyway, the Vice Lord has since lost his head and been added to Bel's belt of screaming heads. Real thing. Honest to God, real Lord. Didn't make that up. Anyway, Atros has sold his soul enough that he was like, whatever, I sign anything put in front of me. Signed the Creed Resolute. And when he was almost dead, Bell and his patron were a little disappointed because they were like, "Oh no, look, we just made this warlock." Anyway, finally they're like, "Okay, what are we going to do about it?" And then they sensed that something slimy and ancient is after him. So they were like, "Screw that, get out of here," and threw him back to the prime material plane and told him, "Don't come back till that's dealt with." And those are your players. That's the story so far. And if you want to hear more, please join us Sunday, noon, for the next session of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. Thank you. There's the stop recording button.